seconds. Okay. So we are live. So today is Wednesday. It's Wedding Wednesday, and so we always go live every Wedding Wednesday. And every week we bring a wedding professional online. If you haven't joined us before, we have a lot of topics that we've covered over the last few weeks, or last month, I guess. We've been doing this. So and of course, we are live on Facebook, and then we are also streaming in our 417 Engaged Couples group. So if you are engaged and want to join that group, you're more than happy to. We would love to have you. So much good information and just couples helping couples in there. So we're really excited about our group. And then what we will do, if you're joining us live, we will also post this video as well afterwards. So if you can't stay for the entire thing, because sometimes we have lots of questions at the end, and our wedding professionals graciously answer those questions. And so sometimes this can be a little bit long, but we'd love to have you the whole time. And so we are going to welcome Shelby Chante Photography. So Shelby with Shelby Chante. She is our guest today. And so let's go ahead, Shelby, and tell us, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm married happily. I feel like I should always point that out. I'm happily married. I have 2 kids. They're really good for the most part. We live in Ava. My husband, I met him at a wedding, actually, that I was photographing, and he was the best man. How cute is that?
Aww.
Right there. Yeah. So that was pretty cute. And and then I just came to Ava, and we have a nice little life here. And I joke around because when we first got married, which is so fun being a newlywed, like I still remember being a newlywed, and it was exciting. And I got to show everyone my ring, and it was a fun time. And in Ava, every single store I went into, everywhere, the license office, when I pumped gas, people said, "Oh, you're Clint's new wife. You're Clint Hall's new wife." And I said, yes, I am. And it was exciting at first, and it got really old about 3 years in, and people still called me that. So I started calling him Andy Griffith, because I just feel like I live in Mayberry. Like usually I tell people I live in Mayberry. I don't even use the word Ava, the name.
I love that. And I love that story. That's so sweet.
Oh,
so sweet. I love it. Okay, so tell me about your photography. How long have you had your photography company?
So I had a really good photography teacher in high school. And so I've been taking pictures since high school. And then I got out and I started taking pictures, and people started paying me money. And I thought I thought that it was like wild that anybody would pay me money to do something that I love so much. So I just jumped on that, and that's my life now. I get to live in the dream. And I've been in business. I've been paying taxes for 7 or 8 years. So I feel like that's what makes you a grown-up and professional, is when you pay taxes.
So true. So true. And obviously your photography is amazing. So we're really excited to have you on today. And and we have got some great topics that you have shared. So, with every wedding professional that we bring on, we always ask, what's your passion? What do you want to help couples with? Because ultimately that's what we're here for. We're here to help any engaged couple in the 417 area that's getting married. And I, when Shelby submitted her topics, I, of course, am just really happy. So I think you will really enjoy these topics today. So we have 3 different topics, and we'll go through those the 3 different ones, and then we'll dive into the first one. So obviously the first one is natural light versus off-camera flash, which those of you who are not very familiar, Shelby is going to explain to you why your photographer needs to know both. And then the second topic is, what are the must-have photos for the wedding day? And Shelby graciously is going to kind of walk through a timeline, because your photographer has a lot to do with your wedding day timeline. And so we're going to talk about that. And the last one, which I love, there it goes, is second shooter. When do you need one? So she's going to show you why when a second shooter is helpful. So when you're choosing your photographer, you know what the difference is. So, okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yes. So off-camera flash. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be, so the flash, there's the one that goes on the camera, and then there's several that can go behind you, all around you. And then the natural light, of course, is when your photographer isn't shooting with any kind of flash. They're just looking for that natural light that's pouring in from windows, doorways, outside. You're looking for sunlight, lots of different things like that. So at first, I was primarily a natural light photographer, because I don't know, I feel like I didn't really know any better, any different. But I actually went to kind of like an internship with Donna Groves. She used to have a photography studio. And she told me that you need to embrace all light, because you're a hired professional. You can't go into a situation and not be prepared for every different kind of lighting scenario. So I've got the photographers, wedding photographers specifically, they never really know, unless they've been to that venue before, they don't know what they're going to get into. So you still need those bright, crisp images. And so I have dedicated the rest of this time to pointing out why you need both.
Right.
You need both. So the natural light, of course, is going to be dreamy and beautiful. And you also need to know different types of natural light. Like whenever the sun is straight on, you have to know how to work your settings to where that is going to be beautiful. Of course, shooting in RAW helps. And then in the shadows, things like that, with your light coming in, when you need to use a hood on your lens, when you don't. So things like that with the natural lights. I also take a reflector with me to every single wedding, whether that's to block light or to reflect it. So that has actually saved me a few times. And then the off-camera flash, I don't go to a wedding without 4 flashes. Like lights, even more. I've ordered more on Amazon. Getting that Trump money in, and I'm gonna buy flashes with it. Which I kind of hope my husband doesn't watch this later, because he didn't know that yet.
And photography is not a cheap it's very expensive. I mean, when you invest in all your equipment and all of that, people wonder why photographers charge what they charge. But honestly, the camera's one thing. Cameras are expensive, but then your lenses and just your flashes and everything else. So go ahead. Yeah,
no, I completely agree. And then the annual maintenance, like I send all of my equipment into Canon every year to be fixed and primed for the wedding season. So it's constant. It sometimes just feels constant. I think I'm finally to a point where I have every lens, all the lights. I've kind of stopped buying all the extra things. So good place. But anyway, the flashes, as you can see in this picture here, we put a flash behind her to light up the smoke from the sparklers. And then we also did one on camera in front. So I just have that on a tripod behind them. And it adds a lot of drama and flair to the image. And whenever you're shooting, I remember this, and it was like pitch black. Like we had to shine a cell phone light on them just so that it could really pick up and be in focus just how I wanted it to.
Right.
So it was a lot of, I mean, it wasn't a lot of work because we get in and we do it, but it was kind of challenging because it's pitch black. I mean, whenever it's so dark like that, it's hard for your camera to pick up. No, you know, so.
And especially when everyone looks at you like, why are you shining your camera light?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Because your camera
phone pictures, is that what my pictures are for my wedding? Yes.
So you have to, you know, a camera has to have focal point, and if it can't see anything other than black, it can't focus. And so, yeah, so I love that. That's awesome. But it's a funny look. People look at you like, why are you pulling out your phone?
Yes, exactly. And then this photo, one more thing, a lot of brides are constantly asking me, like, you know, if they do their sparkler exit too late, they're worried all of their guests will have already left.
Right.
In this photo, I just did her wedding party. Like, it's just her bridesmaids and groomsmen.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be a ton of people to get the shot that you want.
Yes. Yeah. And this, I love this image. It's beautiful. Okay. You ready to go to the next one?
Yes. Okay. So same couple. All right. But in this shot, I wanted to get a little bit more of an intimate feel. And so I took the flashes off and I bumped up the ISO really high. Really high because it is like pitch black in this photo, but the light from the sparklers added just enough warmth. And it turned out to be really, really pretty. So your photographer still needs to know both because this photo is beautiful and it does add a lot of atmosphere, I think. But when you zoom in to an image like that with the ISO bumped up so high, it does have some grain to it. And some people like the way the grain looks. I kind of do sometimes. I do if it's like a bonus image like this one was. Like, I'm going to always go for the crisp, clear photo first, and then we'll get, you know, a little more creative. But I always get the safety shots first.
Right. And I think that's a good thing to know when you're choosing your photographer. You know, one of the biggest things you want to look at is style. Because in most people, that's what they are looking at. They're looking at their work, they're looking at the style and what type of images they are consistently going out. So all photographers are going to give you something a little tiny bit different mixed in with all of your other images. There's an overall consistent feel. So know that when you're choosing your photographer, you know, and I think these are all really, really good points as far as photography. So let's go ahead and go to the next image.
Oh, I loved this wedding so much. So they are, well, they're the cutest couple. They got married in the spring, and I did not know this until later that evening because it was raining. It rained a lot of the day. Oh, sorry, I'm fighting back a sneeze. Don't sneeze on live.
Don't sneeze. If you need to get up, you can get up. It's okay.
Thank you. So it did. It rained most of the day. Of course, it's Missouri, so we're going to have, it's not just going to rain straight, but it did rain a lot of the day. And I was a little worried because every bride is a little, you know, they want the pretty outside pictures. And we still got really pretty outdoors photos. But it was just raining. It was just kind of murky. And but she was so happy the whole day. Like, I kept thinking, like, when is she going to ask me, like, hey, you know, what can we do about the rain? Like, when is she going to come to me and ask me these, like, concerning bride questions? And she never came to me. And I even asked the groom later, I'm like, hey, is she okay with this, like, rainy day wedding? And he's like, what? Yes, she wanted it to rain today. She wanted a rainy wedding. She wants rain in her photos. And I'm like, what? So, yeah, I was like, deal. That's the kind of bride that's going to stand outside in the rain and let me take a picture like this. So we did it. She loved it. You know, wedding dress and all. I mean, no umbrella. Like, she didn't even want an umbrella. She just wanted it coming down on them. And so this was a fun image to get. And again, you have to be prepared for every wedding to, you know, rain or storms or whatever. So I was happy to have the extra lights on this one.
And those, you know, one thing I want to emphasize is no matter what happens on your wedding day, you know, I had a couple that literally got 6 or 9 inches of snow 2 days before the wedding, and it wasn't supposed to do anything. And she messages me and I'm like, oh, she said, did you see the forecast? And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm sorry. And of course they were trying to do an outside wedding, and and she said, you know, I snowball fight. And I went, oh my, talk about just embracing your day. Just enjoy it. No matter, you know, rain, just enjoy your day. And the other thing that I'll point out is a shot like this, obviously they're in the rain, but know that why you choose a professional photographer is because they can get shots like this and it doesn't take them forever to get it set up, because this is
exactly. Yeah.
This isn't something you can do, you know, really, I mean, you do it quickly, but know that that's where your experience comes in. That's why you're choosing a photographer that has experience, because you want this, but you want that as quick as you can. And a wedding day in general.
Yeah. And we did test shots too before I put them out there. I mean, I didn't stick them out in the rain until I knew that I could just fire quickly and run off some quick poses.
Right. So. Absolutely. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh.
Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful. I love the sunset.
Oh, that wedding was really special too. Of course, I mean, you can't pull up a wedding picture and me not be like, oh, I loved that wedding, because I love every single wedding.
Yeah. You feel like you say that over and over again, or you're, but it's the truth. It is the truth.
Every single time. It's never, it's never a lie. But no, that's actually at, Stone Valley Plantation. So they have that big open field and that big open sky, and it was perfect. And that's actually just one flash off to the side there. You can see where that light's coming from. And and I actually had the bride's sister hold it. I just had the bride's sister hold that real quick and directed her, and then we fired off a cute couple poses with that shot. And it was pretty. Like, you don't even know how the sky is really going to photograph until you see it like that. I mean, that's almost just like straight out of camera. I don't have to, whenever you're using off-camera flash, there's a lot that you don't have to, edit in or do.
Right, because you can bring in that background first, and then that flash is taking care of your couple.
Yeah. So it's just a lot more. It's a dramatic shot, but it's all natural. I mean, it's like a really good boob job. Like, you want it, like, is that a boob job? They look so natural. Like, are those real? That's the kind of boobs you want. I'm just saying.
That's another tip, and that wasn't even on one of the topics. So that's you never know.
An extra one. I hope my grandma didn't hear that part. I told my grandma to watch this so that I could be good. Like, I could tell myself to be normal and not say anything inappropriate.
Yes. Okay. Let me check to see. Is there anything else you want to add as far as the natural light versus off-camera flash?
No. I mean, no, I don't think so. When I first started, I just had like one little flash that I would take around with me, and it kind of limited my creativity. So whenever you're looking for a photographer, everyone posts their pretty dreamy natural light photos, and those are beautiful and part of your wedding day. But whenever you're really looking for your photographer, ask for them to send a whole gallery. Ask to see the whole day of someone's wedding so that you can really make sure that they are getting every different moment that you want and lighting it the right way. Because when you go to print them, you want them to be clear, clean, crisp.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, perfect. So we had Whitney Keith said that is a gorgeous photo with the sunset. And of course, you know, we are live in our 417 engaged couples group, and Shelby is monitoring that. So if you're not a part of that, you can join that group at any time, as long as you're engaged and getting married in the 417 area. It is free and open to you. So so please monitor that for us as well, as we are doing this. And we've got a couple other questions that have already this next we'll touch on those. So okay, are we good with that topic?
Yeah, I think so.